All right, there we are. Hello, everyone. You can see I have my Naval Kriegsspiel shirt on today. That's because we are attempting a Naval Kriegsspiel, the Battle of Dogger Bank. Um, I am playing. I am commanding the light cruiser squadron. My flagship is the light cruiser Aurora. To my front is a destroyer squadron. I don't have everything labeled yet. I've used some generic ship sprites to indicate everything. This stuff isn't quite working as well as I would like. The little models, the table sizes are pretty large. I probably have the ships too big. Maybe I should size them down. That might help. I do know that we've got some destroyers back here in a line, and as you can see, it's just a mess. The pieces are really fiddly. And again, I'm sure that's because of the table. Let's see. Nonetheless, it should be interesting. This is meant to kind of be in easy mode. We don't have to give a lot of complicated orders. The umpires are going to handle a lot of things for us. But we'll see. Really, I think it's just going to be a test of how we do with our basic naval tactics. I think positioning is going to make all of the difference in the world, as it typically does with any kind of a naval Kriegsspiel. But we're not playing like, Fletcher Pratt, where we have to estimate range to target or anything like that. Let's see how much I can shrink these down and still have them look somewhat like up here. Oh, quite a bit. Let's see if we can go further. That's about as far as it goes. That's about right, too. So, we have that. I've got my order of battle. I'm not in command, but we do have a Dogger Bank order of battle, and I'll just throw that up here. We got a battle cruiser squadron and a second battle cruiser squadron. So we've got 5 battle cruisers, which I think are in line behind each other. Their line astern. We've got the cruiser squadron, which I command, so that gives me 7 ships, and they're spread out in front in kind of an arc. We're ready to support destroyers, kind of go any direction, whatever. We've got a destroyer flotilla out front. I think that might be the 10th. I don't know which is which. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more destroyer flotillas, which are they're doing flotilla things. What can I say? It is what it is. Let me take a look here. I do not have any updates or reports or orders as of yet, so I'm standing by. And I don't know how fast the game will run. It may be a bit of a slow game, but we'll see what happens. So here we are, Battle of Dogger Bank. I'm thinking there should be a couple more destroyer squadrons. Let me take a quick peek at the order of battle again. I've got 1 out front, 2, 1 on either side, and then I've got 2 more. So yeah, there should be 2 more flotillas, and I don't even know where they're at. But let's go ahead and just drop them on the map. Well, I guess they'll just go right there, won't they? We'll park them somewhere. So, yeah, this is sort of, one of these things where we're trying something, and I can't tell you how it's going to go. Peter Robbins is the lead umpire on this. He knows what he's doing. But I do think this is a little experimental. I get that impression. CT Mac is helping him out. CT Mac is also an experienced Kriegspieler. There's a lot of people playing, though, and only a couple umpires, so I think this will be kind of a slow experience. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely different from our usual Napoleonic or Civil War battle type affair. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, and I am tired. It is the weekend. It is Saturday. So pardon me if I don't talk incessantly at you. But again, anyone can drop a comment into the chat, and we'll set that to live, so I'll see your comments as they come up. In other IKS news, let's see here. First of all, the K-22 system is undergoing additional refinement, and it's getting very close to where it needs to be. We ran a test game yesterday, and it went really, really well. And it's been going really well. So there's just little ticky-tack things here and there that we're tweaking. I have to tweak an artillery rule or make sure it's clear. It's really, I think I need to put in like a, oh, look at that. I have a typo in there. I have to put in, what do I have to add to this thing? Let me pull this up. I have to add, well, let me take a look at the artillery rule. Because the artillery throws different number of dice per range. Gun ranges. Oh, I already have it in there. Well, we're done. I forgot that I had wrote that in there. Oop. Okay, so that was actually done. I do have to put a visibility chart in here, though, so people understand at what range do you see things that you would see. So I need to add a chart in here, somewhere in here. So I'll be doing that. Otherwise, like, the module's really in good shape. We've got all of the different components of stuff put in there. You can buy the module. You send me $20 on PayPal. I add you to the list. If you sign up for the Patreon, our Patreon, I'll show you that. You get the rules for free when you come on board as a supporter. So the Patreon, it's $5 a month is what it is. And you come here. Anyway, it's patreon.com/Kriegsspiel. And we have some stuff. You can see some sneak peeks at some of the measuring tools that we have for the K-22 system. You can see some of our battles. We got a couple battles that we've done. So there's some exclusive content. You have to be a Patreon to see that. Otherwise, you do get all of our podcasts and such. You get to see all of that. And again, you come on as the $5 a month supporter. You're supporting the International Kriegsspiel Society, and you get the K-22 rules for free. So let's see here. That's fixed? Okay. All right. Man, I don't like the way that shows that little S there. Sorry, there was a typo. And it really wasn't a deliberate typo. It was one of those things where you hit a key and it just throws a letter in there. Anyway, that's tweaked. Okay. All right, so standing by, waiting for a report on our stuff. While we wait for reports, I'm just kind of showing you the various IKS stuff that we have going on. The other thing I'll show you is our website. We have redone our website. So you can see that here. And you can join our Discord. This gets you into all of our games. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You just come on in and play. We have our little blog, which is going to be where we'll probably put a lot of resources and other things in here. We're not settled on the final menu structure as far as this is concerned, but we do have a lot of stuff that we're going to put in here. We're going to put Kriegsspiel problems for people. We're going to put after action reports, other things like that. We're also going to stock this with maps and other resources that people need to basically plan and run their own Kriegsspiel. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here on the website. We do have our podcast, Coffee, Kegs, and Kriegsspiel. It's every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's like 9 till 11, 12. Oh, gosh darn it. 9, 10, it's like 1 or 2 o'clock. like 5 p.m. 5 p.m. GMT. I had to count to 8. Sorry. 5 p.m. GMT, and that's when this runs, and it's on Sundays. We do have our store. You can get merch from us. Come in here and you can shop. You get a mug. You can get a T-shirt or a hoodie, which is cool. Those are cool things to have. I've got the mug. I don't have it with me. I'm drinking out of my big mug today, but we have that. Let's see here. We also got. Well, I closed the window, so we don't got anything now. Let's pull this up. So, in addition to the shop, blocks. You can get blocks. We have Photon Cutter Studios as our official supplier of blocks. You can buy your own custom set of blocks. And we've redone a lot of this stuff. So these, you can buy these kinds of blocks here that they have here. But you'll also be able to buy our own. Let me see what this looks like. No, that's not right. That's the standard block offering that he has. But we have our own set of blocks that you can get. And you see those on our YouTube. If you look at our YouTube, you'll see what the blocks look like. Also on our Patreon, you get a sneak peek at the new blocks. And those can be customized with colors and other things. Alright, again, standing by for a report. This is a new adventure. And here we are. I've got a report. It says here, another frigid day on the North Sea as you are sailing with the formation. Your spotters call out suddenly ships on the horizon. Where on the horizon? I mean, the horizon goes 365 degrees, right? I guess we could probably assume to our front. But until I know more, what heading is my question? And I'm going to assume that there's going to be bad guys somewhere out here to our front. So out there, okay, yeah, this table is just so wonky. Look at that. I wrote on it and you can't even see that I wrote on it. Anyway. Alright. So we've got that. We've got contact somewhere out here to the front. They're replying to me. This is where I am. I am here. And direct course to you heading westerly. Well, alright. So that means bad guys are out here somewhere coming this way. Okay. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to worry about the stray mark. Okay, so there we have it. Bad guys are headed this way. I don't know that there's a range to the target. If they're on the horizon and it's a clear day, it's probably pretty far. My guns probably can't reach, and I have a destroyer squadron between me and them. So we'll just continue. Alright. Okay, so I've submitted my order, which is probably without saying squadron on battle stations, and then continue at present speed and course. So we put everyone on battle stations. Again, probably goes without saying. In fact, they're probably assuming everyone's on battle stations. So we've got that going on. Man, these modules sometimes are so funky. And here's my cruiser, and it's technically a World War II cruiser. Really, this is World War I, but whatever. It's a light cruiser. And we'll continue. Alright, they received the order. So we just kind of sit here and wait for something to happen. But there's ships on the horizon. So, I wonder if we're just going to plow into each other, or if there will be some sort of finesse here, some sort of maneuver. Okay. Just sort of standing by here. Let's check the YouTube, see if there's any questions or comments. Not yet, but again, feel free to say hello, ask any questions, comments, give any feedback, offer advice, whatever you may wish to do. This is the Battle of Dogger Bank, set in World War I. We have a fleet of ships. I'm British. We are sailing towards what appears to be the German fleet. Again, both fleets on what may be a direct course towards each other. I guess it would be a good time to find some German ships, or maybe we just copy a ship and color it. Let's see how that goes. Can we color this ship? Color tint. And what happens if we paint it black? There we go, that works. That will do for a German ship. Alright, and we know that this ship is out here somewhere, heading this direction. We don't have a range or anything more specific. We do know that there are multiple ships. I'm just putting one out for the moment. We don't have to give particular orders. We can be pretty generic. And the umpires are going to handle all of that for us. I guess I'm going to sit here, yawn, and fall asleep. I should turn the camera off, right? That way you'll only know if I'm asleep if you hear me snoring. Let's see here. Well, I'll turn the camera off anyway. I just wanted you to see that I've got my Naval Kriegsspiel shirt going on. Alright. There's that. Okay. And we got to keep a watch here on our reports. reports as of yet. Oh, Dave Pumphouse is playing. I bet you he's streaming the German table on YouTube. Don't know where. He has a channel. Let's see what happens. I hope he is. It'll be interesting to see things from his perspective. See, there's that yawn. All right. Just to repeat so everyone knows, we have sighted German ships coming directly at us to our west. I don't have range information or anything like that. They're on the horizon, however, so it's probably the case that they're quite distant and still out of gun range. We have a line of destroyers out front. Behind the line of destroyers, we have the light cruiser squadron. So here's the destroyers. That's your DDs. And then we have CL, light cruisers. Then we have battle cruisers here. And then we have destroyers here, destroyers here. And this squadron, I think, is back here somewhere. I don't have a position for it. But they're not out front. They're out there, though. They're with us. So we have plenty of destroyers. And we've got 5 nice big battle cruisers. Which, as long as they don't get hit, they should be just fine. Alright, I'll be right back. I'll still have my audio on, so if they pop in, just going to step away from the screen. But here we are. We're just waiting to get an update now. Okay, still no reports, but we should be getting something soon. Okay, we're getting a report. All right. 10:15 a.m. Let's see how long these. Well, it's been 15 minutes since the last one. Waiting for it to come through. They're typing it though. Well, I don't know what happened. There was typing and then there's none. Should be getting a report pretty soon though. All right, here's our report. Your spotters report flag messages from the division in front and the battle cruiser squadron flagship from Admiral Beatty in behind. From the destroyers to your front, enemy ships spotted in front. From behind you, all increase speed to full ahead. All right, so my order is speed to full ahead. So there we have it. Alright, so we went 22 minutes between updates. So we'll see when things start to heat up in a game, the turn slows down a bit. So I don't know how far we're going to get through all of this. It seems like a pretty ambitious little fight. There's a lot of units in here. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Festival Mosaic Summer Music Festival return.
I don't know, Jan. If I were to sing, I think that would probably kill it. Then nobody would watch the stream, not even you. No, we will not sing sea shanties. This is World War One. I don't know what we're gonna sing, but slow game. We'll see here. Look on here. Hey, wow, we got 4 people viewing. Want to thank you all for who are watching the live stream. Um, it's a Naval Kriegsspiel. It's kind of a new attempt So I think it's going to move pretty slow. So I just want to warn folks there. It may be interesting if it kind of gets going, but right now the two fleets are steaming towards each other. Here's the British fleet. I'm commanding the cruiser squadron. I've got 7 cruisers. I'm kind of here in the middle in this area right here. I'm right here. That's the light cruiser squadron. Here's my flagship. So all my stuff is here. And we are headed west. I'm sorry, we're headed east with enemy ships heading directly at us from the west. They're on the horizon as of last check, so I don't know exactly how far away they are. But we're not playing Fletcher Pratt or anything where I have to estimate range to target necessarily. All we're doing is giving kind of broad stroke orders like, fire on that target. The umpires are handling everything else. So it's a very, simple, straightforward battle. However, there are a lot of elements and there's a lot of units in here, and it could be the case that all of those elements doing their own things. There's probably going to be a lot of dice rolled and a lot of stuff going different directions, and it could get complicated. So we have a couple good empires. We got Peter Robbins and CT Mac. Both know what they're doing. However, there's still a lot of pieces, and there's a lot of players who don't know what they're doing. So you combine a lot of units with rookie players. And I should say rookie players in that most of these people are not familiar with Naval Kriegsspiels. Even myself, probably still technically a noob when it comes to Naval Kriegsspiels. So given that, things are going to slow down a bit. I am getting another report coming in. It's only been 10 minutes or so since the last report, which is good timing. 10 minutes is pretty reasonable. 10 to 15 minutes is average. 10 minutes is great. It's very hard to process a turn in under 10 minutes unless the two sides are just moving towards each other. And that's true in any Kriegspiel, but as an umpire you need time to move all the pieces and such. Alright, so there was typing and then the typing stopped. So I'll be getting a report here probably in the next few to 5 minutes. And then we'll have hopefully an interesting update. We'll see what happens. I've got destroyers screening to my front, so I don't know. I mean, I'm probably not in a lot of danger as of yet. But I do want to keep an eye out for any destroyers closing in on the battlecruiser fleet. Hello to Rarb C. Afternoon from the UK. Good sailing. Good sailing to you too. We'll see how this goes. But yes, I am in command of the light cruiser squadron, and the Germans are approaching from the east. Should get a report here in the next few minutes. Standing by for the report. Still nothing yet, but there's probably not much to say. They are typing. CT Mac is typing to me, so I should get something momentarily. Alright, let's see where we're at. Still nothing. Hello to all of our viewers. Naval Kriegsspiel today. Battle of Dogger Bank. I'm running the British Light Cruiser Squadron, and we have sighted the Germans on the horizon and are on our way. Well, still waiting for that report. 10:21 was the last one. It has now been another 20 minutes, so here we are waiting on the next one, and there it is, almost right on cue. Alright, the definite crack of naval gunfire breaks through the ocean air. To your front, you can see white plumes of water shooting up into the sky as your allied ships seem to be under fire. Your spotters also receive another flag message from Admiral Beatty. 1st Cruiser Light Squadron support 10th Destroyer Squadron. All remaining squadrons maintain formation. Turn east-southeast full speed. Well, alright, so I have my orders to support. Something interesting has finally happened. Okay, so the squadron itself, or the fleet, is going to turn this direction. Okay? So they're going to turn, actually, I would actually say if it's east-southeast, it's not even that much. It's kind of more like this. Like that. Alright, so they're going to go that direction. Meanwhile, I'm instructed to support these ships. Now, I don't see what's to my front. All I see is that our ships are taking hits or taking fire around here, that there are shells landing, and so on. So, alright, let's give some orders here. First of all, I don't want our ships to get lost or separated or fall out of command. So, one, squadron close formation by half. 2, increase speed to flank. Alright, so my orders are as follows. Squadron close formation by half. So let's get these guys going. So he's going to begin turning down this way, east southeast. All right, so those guys are going to begin doing that. And they too. All right, and we'll just do these guys here. And then we're going to close everything by half. Alright, I don't know quite what the destroyer squadron to my front is doing. I also know we have destroyers out here somewhere. I'll move them closer to the back there. Alright, so I have given the following orders. Squadron close formation by half. Increase speed to flank, so we are going to move a little faster now. And identify closest enemy ship by type and range. So I want to know, this guy, he's out here somewhere, and obviously more than one, but I want to know his type and his range. Is he a destroyer? How far away is he? Okay. And then the fourth order is when in range, open with guns. So we're going to open fire on him as soon as we are in range. Now the last two orders I've only given on the bridge to the crew of my ship. I've not transmitted them to the other ships. So the whole identify and fire order is to my own crew alone. And the reason is I've already given a couple other orders, for one, and second, I don't expect that we're going to be in range yet anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. I think orders 3 and 4 will more or less be disregarded, although I should get a report on the closest enemy ship. So I should have something to go on here shortly. I will probably have to turn to the east-southeast to stay matched with the main body of the fleet. All right, standing by. All right, standing by. There'll be a bit of a wait for the next update. These turns seem to be moving in about a 20-minute cycle, so we just got one about a little over 5 minutes ago, so it's probably got about another 10 to 15 to go before the next update. The main fleet behind me is turning east-southeast while I am ordered to push ahead and help screen the 10th destroyer flotilla, which is directly to my front. All right. The umpires, of course, clearly still at work. We're about halfway through what is turn 3, I think. 9:06 a.m. was the time of the last update. We're moving in. Ooh, I think we're moving like in 3-minute increments. Oh boy. So this is turn 4 in a 3-minute increment game. I somehow don't think we're going to finish the battle. Too many units, I think. I think that could be the issue here. We'll see. Maybe it's going to go brilliantly, but also too few umpires. Peter needs more help. He's Peter and one other guy. That's not enough. So, but that's okay. It's a kind of an experimental scenario, and this is the time and the place to do these. And out of this, Peter will learn what I'm telling you now. He probably needs more umpires, and he'll also learn um, whatever tricks or tweaks or changes he needs to make to get this to run just right. I've played some really cool games with Peter. He's a very good Naval Kriegsspiel umpire. So, and he's developed his own systems and such. So, it's quite good. It's just today, I think he said Naval Kriegsspiel, and the whole IKS came running, wanting to play. This speaks to an issue across the IKS, which is we have a lot of people who come and join, and they get into games, or they say, you know, I want to run my own Kriegsspiel because they have these really cool ideas. And there's nothing that stops you from starting your own server and running your own game. So people do that. And then they find out very quickly, I think, they bit off more than they can chew. You really do have to step up, and you have to play test and run experiments like this before you run a proper game. Even the play-by-post stuff, which is what most people are doing. It's extremely popular for a lot of reasons, and it's easier to run a game by post. But play-by-post games can get very big very quickly. They can have a lot of players. Players can participate inconsistently. You can have umpires who participate inconsistently. You can have all kinds of communications issues and coordination issues, we've learned. And they don't always, a lot of times they get abandoned, which is why the IKS is here. So that, you know, if you play an IKS play by post or anything, it's not going to get abandoned. It's going to be a solid experience. But if it's not IKS branded, well, we can't guarantee the experience. You may have an amazing time. That's certainly possible, but we can't guarantee it. Nobody will step in and make sure it concludes. I mean, they might, but in the IKS, you know, we're going to make sure those games play to completion. You have a good experience. That's why we have master umpires. Anyway. Do want to get in there. All right, we have a question. Anniversary of Gettysburg is coming up soon. Any plans? We did Grand Gettysburg last year. I don't think there are any plans to play a Gettysburg scenario, but it would be possible. That would be next Saturday. I myself am probably not available. My daughter's coming to town, coming to the coast to hang out with everyone, which means me. So I don't know. I may or may not be available to play on next Saturday. I'm not going to run anything. If the most I might do is maybe play or assist, but I won't run a game next Saturday. Long holiday weekend for the United States. The 4th of July is Independence Day. It's the day we broke away from England because they wanted us to pay taxes. And well, Americans don't like paying taxes, although for some reason we seem to pay a lot of them now. But there you go. They came for our money and our guns. And what did we Americans do? We told them no. We're not going to pay taxes to help finance our own protection from the problems we're causing on the frontier. Absolutely not. Oh my. Right? How dare they? That's right. How dare they expect us to pay taxes to protect ourselves from problems we create? And then they tried to take our guns. Unbelievable. Can't allow that. All right. All right, let's check the time. Last update was at 10:42. So we're about 15 minutes in, a little more. So we should be getting another update in a few minutes based on that 20-minute turn cycle, which seems to be typical for this game. I apologize to people faithfully watching the live stream that it's such a long delay, but this is it's kind of a big scenario. There's a lot of players and only a couple umpires. And we're moving only in 3-minute increments, so if you do something like this with this many people, players, and so few umpires, you have to either move it in bigger increments, or really the best way to do it is to pare things down so that players have far fewer forces, maybe even only one ship. And then if they have one ship, you can play Fletcher Pratt or something with them. But yeah, you need to be able to get those reports to the players. And right now it looks like reports are being typed by hand and placed in each channel, which could also take a little longer. So I don't know how far we're going to get through this. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time. We started at 9. Normally we start at 8. Today we started at 9. So we've been 2 hours into this. Usually the first hour of our Kriegsspiel games are spent in setup. Something that I hate, but I find myself stuck doing it as well. Falling into that trap just the same. So that is something I need to look at and work on. But with Open Saturday, it's kind of like people show up and they just kind of play, and you don't know who you're going to have. So it's pretty hard to prepare too much in advance. I will say we played that K-22 game yesterday, and we were done with the whole thing in under 2 hours, which is what it's designed to do. It's designed for 2 or 3 people to sit down with a couple hours and just belt out a quick Kriegsspiel experience and get that itch scratched and have it done. And you can, of course, go larger. You can have more players, more umpires, longer game, everything. But the way it's designed is it's just designed for that small 2 or 3 player experience. And it plays pretty quick. And it's just as much Kriegsspiel as anything else. Alright, Rob says we don't like taxes this side of the pond either. Nobody likes taxes, I'll tell you that. But wait until you find out about surplus labor value. If you think your labor is being stolen through taxes, wait until you find out about your employer and your landlord. Have I got a surprise for you? That's all I'll say about that. Here, unfortunately, inflation is running amok, and I imagine that's a global phenomenon for the most part. But the inflation is outstripping wage gains, so basically people are getting pay cuts because the purchasing power of their income is declining against higher and higher prices. So even if you get a raise at work, you get more pay, well, your purchasing power is still in decline. And some places like where I'm working, there's cutbacks, so it's getting tight. Your prices are going up, but the incomes are falling, and yeah, it's getting real tough. They really need a law that pegs wages to inflation. That's all there is to it. Wages and inflation should be locked together. In that case, there's not a whole lot of incentive to raise prices too much because you're pushing your own payroll up. So you got to think about that. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that. That there's so much stuff to talk about there. All right, I am getting a report. CT Mech is typing, and at time being 11:04, that would be almost 20 minutes. So it looks like we're again coming in at that 20-minute mark on the turn cycle. The problem is we're only moving in 3-minute increments, and um, I mean that means you play for another 2 hours. You're going to move 3, 3, and 3. That's 9. Another 3, 3. That's 18 minutes for 2 hours of play. That's not going to cut it, I don't reckon. I don't reckon. Not with this many ships. Not a scenario of this size. But let's see. Maybe they're going to accelerate time or something. I don't know. Anyway, our last report was 9:06. So now I'm expecting a 9:09 report. We've accelerated to catch up with our destroyers, perhaps. We're trying to find a target and maybe open up on the target. We'll see what happens. At some point, we fall under the umbrella of enemy battleships or battlecruisers, and that'll be something. Still waiting on our report. There has been some typing. This is going to be a challenging one, I'll say that. Sometimes you have to run one like this periodically. What you learn from these experiences can be quite tremendous and useful. And here's the report, and it is a 909 report. Your ships quickly move to close the gap as you increase your speed. However, you soon find yourself boxed in as the 10th Destroyer Flotilla is now cutting across your face. Your ships can't get an accurate shot, and if you continue at speed, your ships will intermix with the destroyers with the risk of collision. You also receive a message from the 10th. 10th under fire. Enemy is lighter class. What do they mean by lighter class? Does that mean lighter class is capitalized? Is that a known class of ships? Let's see if that is a known class of ship, like that's a name. And I don't see it. I'm seeing lots of ads in Google for Zippo lighters. Come on, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Reduce speed to avoid collisions. Alright, message to the 10th DD, fallback, we will screen. So we're going to reduce speed. We're going to try to navigate through the screen. We're going to tell them to fall back and we will screen them. So, what that means is we are in kind of a tight spot here with these destroyers, which are themselves maneuvering about. We're not able to get any shots. But I do want to get through because we probably have guns that are a couple inches larger. Maybe a little bit more range. I don't know. Maybe even more accuracy. Although we're light cruisers, so we're not going to have the world's most stable, rock-solid gun platforms. Nonetheless, we might fare better. Because if the enemy is ahead of us with lighter class ships, meaning what, destroyers? I don't know what that means. Maybe I can hammer them. Maybe I can hammer them. Alright, so I've communicated to the flagship of the fleet, Cruiser Light Squadron pushing to front. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to get to the front here and get a better visual on what's happening, and then possibly, take somebody under fire and make them miserable, make them regret the day they squared up with the Royal Navy. Let's see what happens here. But if there's problems, then yeah, we wanna get back behind the battle cruisers. But I don't see any battle cruisers. I do have a picture. And I'll put this picture up. So it looks like these are my cruisers out here. And it looks to me like there is a double line of German ships to our front. And if that's the case, then we're a lot closer, and I'm going to have to also turn away. We may have to execute a turn away maneuver. If I find that the composition of these ships to our front is heavier and more dangerous, I may order a smoke screen to screen our battle cruisers, but I think our battle cruisers are going to want to take a crack at them, so I'm really more concerned about getting the destroyers to some kind of safety and then getting the cruisers to safety and letting the big guys do their thing. Like, I'll have to back off very quickly. But I don't want to do something until I see or know what's going on. And I'm not sure from that picture, I'm not even sure the range. But it does look like guys are close enough to hit each other out there. Alright, let's color these. Alright, so that represents what we see in the distance. Although I imagine the position of all this stuff is more like that. That helps to kind of recreate, however, this last picture that we have. which is here. You see these guys over here. So, yeah, there is some shooting, there are some hits. So, we are going to have to turn probably to our east-southeast on the next turn. And that's the fun. That's where it gets fun, right? You're making an actual decision now. You're faced with a dilemma. What do you do? Where do you turn? How do you go? Jan asks if I can lay down a smoke screen, and I'm sure I can, yeah. I think that's one of the things that light cruisers did. Yeah, I asked about that, and I do have torpedoes. So destroyers and light cruisers definitely have torpedoes. I think battleships often did as well. So, yeah. So we got torpedoes. So depending on how close I end up, I could lay down I could put torpedoes in. But if I want to do things with torpedoes, the destroyers are great for that. Smaller targets, faster, more maneuverable. They're just a little more fragile, but light cruisers aren't particularly durable either. Thank you, Barb. We'll see you soon. All right, still standing by. We are at 20 minutes. So we should get a report any minute now, but it also could be that there's a lot of combat. Hmm. Hmm. Alright, looks like we're now getting a report. It's been almost 30 minutes. So there's definitely one of those turns where a lot seems to have happened, and I'm worried some of it may have happened to me. Passing through a destroyer squadron is probably not the best thing you can do. And then exposing yourself to enemy fire would be the second complication there. But we've got to get close enough to them to shoot at them, otherwise, well, we can't shoot at them and we're just targets. So we need to calculate range. If we're in torpedo range, if we're too close, we'll drop some torpedoes. But I think torpedo range in this day and age was pretty short. So, I don't think we're at point blank or close enough for torpedoes in just about any scenario. But let's see. Let's see. I think CT gives us our reports in bits. He does the screenshot, does some text, or text and then a screenshot, either way, as this stuff gets processed. So I expect to hear the report or see it momentarily. We've just reached the 30-minute mark on the turn. Alright, we just got another report. You managed to get a bead on the lead enemy ships as half your force finally manages to break the line of destroyers and begins opening fire. You bracket the first ship you see. Very soon an angry black cloud belches from the enemy ship as you lay it under fire. However, further down the line you can see what looks to be a fire raging among one of your allied ships. You also receive a flag message from the 10th. At least 15 enemy ships sighted. Okay, so it looks like we've hit something. I'll show you the screenshot. I have no idea. Is this... I don't know what these models are. I'm assuming those are the destroyer, representing the destroyers, and the enemy is turning to the right here. It looks like... And if we have a range estimate, then we can determine okay, this is more or less an approximation of where we're at here. And then it appears, copy, let's just drop these guys here. And these are German ships despite the British names. No more than 2,000 yards. Okay. So apparently we're no more than 2,000 yards. So that's pretty dangerous. All right. So, yeah, so I'm all right, yeah. So, my orders were I requested torpedo range. I'm told that I'm within range but not really effective range. All right. So, turn south to stay with the fleet more or less. As we turn, continue firing launch torpedoes when at closest approach. So my orders are for us to sort of do this sort of thing. I should erase that. That's a mess. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to make our way here to the south and evade as we go. Let me actually... I'll do a little screen there. And I'll attach the screen. And that should give him some idea of the intent. All right. So what's happening here? Hello to John and Steele. What's happening here is it's the Battle of Dogger Bank. We started with destroyers out front. That's the 10th Destroyer Flotilla. Behind that is a light cruiser squadron of 7 light cruisers under my command. Behind that is the main fleet, the other 4 destroyer squadrons, and 5 battle cruisers. We were sailing east. We spotted them directly to our west, coming right at us. We have basically made some initial contact. Now we're turning away towards the south at close approach. We're at about 2,000 yards range. As we turn away to the south, we're going to continue firing and launch our torpedoes in their general direction. I don't expect to hit anything, but they should kind of deny the enemy that lane and kind of force them to break off. And maybe we'll get some lucky hits. And that will allow us to kind of escape to the south, because we're probably in over our head as it is. There's about 15 ships, and I don't know that they're smaller than we are. We have hit one of his ships with gunfire, and the ship appears to be smoking. As far as how much damage that really is, I don't know. And it doesn't pay to sit here and try to figure that out. Basically, we've kind of delivered a thrust, and that is what it is. So now we turn our way to the south. It's up to the battle cruisers to do the hard work here. And so we'll see. As the situation develops and we learn more information, then we can make more detailed maneuvers. But for right now, we don't have a whole lot of information. Yeah. And John says it seems like a easier, quicker resolution system would help. That could be, but Peter's got to figure that out, and this is one way that he can do it, is by running these kinds of games. So the benefit of something like this is we get better experiences in the future because we learn. So I wouldn't mind playing some Fletcher Pratt, I'll tell you that, which I think is just the best, most simple naval combat thing you can do. Dog's going crazy. There must be something going on. Is it a cat? Is it a person? Oh, it's the neighbor dog. It's the neighbor dog. Alright. Okay, let's see here. A D-20 system works surprisingly well. Used a lot of that to resolve World War One. With U.S. Navy versus Entente. So I think there's 11 players and 2 umpires, which is probably a big part of the issue. Need more umpires, faster system, fewer units. So that would be my recommendation. And the system might actually be fast. The system might not need any changes at all. The system might work really well. It's just more umpires and maybe fewer units would cut these turn times down quite a bit. Man, I hope I don't lose a ship here. I might. This is where it's going to happen if it's going to happen. I didn't increase speed to flank, did I? I should have. Wonder if I can add that. All right. I don't know if that'll be accepted or not, but after approach, increase speed to flank on egress. We want to get the heck out of there. Let's see what happens. It is too much for two umpires. Absolutely. An umpire should really only run no more than four people at maximum. 2 to 4 is 4 is a lot. 2 is okay. Anything more than 2 you start pushing. Anything over 4 is unacceptable. But sometimes you just got to roll with what you got. Yeah, in live play. That's right. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It's just not enough time to do a good job for each player and turn the turnaround, because if you figure each player is going to take at least 2 to 5 minutes, it just depends. Some players are very verbose. Some umpires are verbose. Sometimes there's a lot of questions. You're always going to have those turns where you have questions. And then in this case, everything's being done written. There's no verbal reports or updates, which on the one hand, that cuts down questions for the most part. Although I did have questions which I chatted. Writing the report takes a minute. It might be faster to deliver the report verbally. So there you have it. Alright, still no reports, just standing by. If there's issues or problems with the ship, then that's something for you to concern yourself with too, and that can be just as compelling as running multiple ships. So, 43. All right, we're coming up on the 20-minute mark, but it might be another 10 based on a prior example there. All right, thank you, John. We'll see you soon. All right, looks like a report may be coming in. All right, here's our report. Your formation begins to slowly shift and make a push to the southeast. However, the Germans change directions themselves and are on a direct collision course as you launch torpedoes. As you close to where you can plainly see the German sailors on the deck of their ships, a loud explosion and the groaning of metal indicates you yourself have managed to catch a torpedo. You must deal with that quickly or the whole ship is likely to flood. At the moment, you also receive a WT message from Admiral Beatty. Have you spotted the capital ships? Well, let's take a look at our screenshot. I don't see anything that would look like a capital ship. Well, now we're in a knife fight, so I don't know what happens here, but basically, um, let's go ahead and erase everything. We got hit by a torpedo ourselves, so here we are, and here we are here. Oh wow, that's not good. And the enemy has also turned this way, and for all I know, we're all intermixed here. And I've taken a torpedo hit. Apparently there is a ship right in front of me. We just keep firing. And I'm getting some sort of report question comment. CT is typing, so. None so far. Alright, still no report. Standing by. I wonder how boring this is for the battle cruisers who have not come into action. Alright, we're at the 20-minute mark. Sometime in the next 10 minutes, I'd expect an update. Alright, still no update, but one is coming. It's being typed up. I cannot stay in this game much longer. You quickly find yourself alone as your ship just barely manages to slip through the German ships and onto the other side. Your torpedoes and guns continue firing away in the chaos of the night fight. Alright, well, nothing to do there but continue.
think for time purposes.
Show you what's going on.
Time purposes,
Yeah.
and after we reveal what just got ordered up.
Yeah.
Here, that's actually easier. Let me just do that.
Do you mind if I join the tabletop?
Yeah, you can do that. It's the server is Dogger with a capital D.
Okay,
And the
that should be everybody.
The password is bank.
Bank with a capital B.
So, welcome everybody to the final turn here. Once we reveal what has been ordered, you'll understand why. So let me
Give me a chance to hop in the tabletop real quick.
Yeah, there's the tabletop thing. If you want to hop into it, that's fine. I'll also stream it, just so everyone has a clear idea of what's happening. So, here we are here. And as the Germans openly admitted, oh, whoops. The Germans openly admitted, they went for the Trafalgar plan, and are
Certainly bold.
bisect, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Almost in there.
so basically, it comes down to Amelia. Yeah, you at risk of a collision, you'd have to turn away. Sort of slide up to the side there. Basically, the main resolution point is going to be in here, so we just go ahead and do that. So, Peter, if you would.
Okay, so I will read out Carter's death knell. Hold on a second. Lost it. Alright, so the orders for that. I'm just going to read it out if somebody. Focus fire on enemy cruiser off port bow. All ahead full target nearest enemy battle cruiser flagship. So that would be the New Zealand. Okay. Destroyers to left and rear engage targets that deem appropriate. Weapons free torps and guns. Destroyers to start with speed up and move to torpedo enemy battleships if possible. Go down the
So,
line.
yeah. Let's go ahead and see about that, huh? What else
So
was...
what happens when a protected cruiser smashes into a battle cruiser?
It's either I sink or I ram. Like,
Well, one of two things is about to happen. Either you are shot to pieces and blown up before you can reach it, or you reach it. And, yeah.
I was gonna get shot to pieces anyway, so.
Oh my god, Lake v. Carter, who can win?
Make ready.
Well, it's not exactly a fair fight, is it?
Hey, it doesn't have to be a fair fight.
Well, with the...
Unfair fights are the best kind.
Alright, so that's a miss. Score 1 for the British gunnery.
Let's go.
And that's a hit.
Battlecruiser squadron coming in clutch.
So he still
But
survives, right?
He still technically survives, yeah.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah!
So the
But
cruiser
his hull integrity is so low that...
So the cruiser Stralsund, on fire and on smoking, is just going to ram itself right into the New Zealand.
Holy shit, dude.
Well, that's why we have Marines, don't we?
Right. Okay.
Looks like we're going to be capturing a protected cruiser, boys.
So at this point, myself and Peter and Sean have decided
For the
this is
prize!
the place to call it. Basically, what's going to end up happening is the Germans are going to effectively, open fire, both sides here, deal some damage, but they're going to get the same back because the destroyers are still out here and they're starting to open fire. The destroyers are back here and they're in for the back. So what we're effectively looking at is worse losses from Doggerbank and Jutland combined. Yeah. The German Navy is decimated. The British Navy similarly decimated.
Well, I mean,
This
the German Navy is very much dead. I would say that kind of how lethal this is on the British would kind of have to be rolled for. But first scouting group is gone.
Yeah, definitely within several turns.
I mean, we were looking at the losses of 2 British destroyers and likely the battlecruiser New Zealand.
Possibly.
I
But
think it would
remember,
be,
New Zealand is blessed.
But the rest of this German line, unless they turn away, is going to have to come straight through.
Well, I mean,
here.
my next order was to turn to port, to port and to go this way. And the idea would be that we'd kind of be going away from this and then cutting into here and getting our guns to bear.
And
So
That's interesting because my next order has us turning to port at 0924. So
suffice to say,
our line would be heading back, essentially staying in front of you. So you'd be turning right back into us again.
So
that's the idea.
Yeah, suffice to say, a very bloody day all around.
Just so Dave, you're on. What was your next intention here again? You were getting in line formation, but
I was going to starboard.
So he was going. Really? So you're out here trying to go.
This.
Wow, both fleets are just going to disappear into the sea, I guess. Okay.
It's every man for himself.
They will write legends about this day. Yeah, I wish we had more time to roll it out because I honestly would love to see exactly how much of these fleets would survive. Because there's a lot more ships that are going down to Dogger Bank today. I will say though, overall, even if it's like a match-on-match number of losses, it still turns into a British strategic victory.
I mean, it's going to be a British victory no matter how you slice the pie. Like, the German Kriegsmarine just can't fight the British, like, in an open battle like this.
Yeah, Kriegsmarine cannot take the losses that...
The idea was we were going to lose regardless, so we were going to try to cause as much damage as possible.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was either
that's
get a
all
strategic... Either we get a strategic loss, right, or we disengage. So do you want to have a battle or not? Like...
Okay, so here's like this, guys. It's entirely possible to beat these guys tactically and strategically. It would be very difficult, but it's possible. I mean...
Right, but we were prepared to take losses, though, so to judge it based on losses when we were going in with the mindset that we were going to lose a lot of stuff, I mean, like, the idea was, yeah, we were going to take losses, but so were the British, you know, like...
But that's still a loss. I mean...
but we went in with the mindset that was going to happen. So I mean, is it really a loss though? Like,
but Hipper wouldn't have that mindset. That would not be your
but
objective.
am I Hipper? I wasn't given an objective.
Yes, you are Hipper.
Okay, Sean, everyone, hugs. Also, you too.
We went into the Battle of the Alamo as knowing it was going to be a loss. Is it still a loss?
Okay, everyone, just ease up. Ease up. Historically speaking, yes, this is a German loss, but if you're just looking at your own mindset, well, that's your own victory. So if you want to look at it that way, that's your prerogative.
Well, I just want to point out that this appears to be my first ever Kriegsspiel win ever.
That's
a
congratulations, Marshall. I feel confident that Marshall was playing this entire game in his bathtub with little toy boats.
Actually, it was in the hot tub out back.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, even better.
So,
the whirlpool's on. You're just getting a nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did want to point out that the gunnery was horrific by both sides because Carter should have gone down probably at least two segments before, but he got through by dice rolls, pretty much by luck alone, really.
Is he the one that I hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
You're the one.
I guess
he hit you.
I'm not really angry or anything about this. I guess what I'm just gonna ask the umpires is, like, what would we have done better in this situation? Like
join the British?
Okay, so I have some thoughts.
What is the strategy, right? I'm
Guys,
just wondering.
Please let me speak. Okay. So, from my perspective, as I'm running this, yes, it's a nigh impossible task, but if it somehow able to where you're able to sacrifice like one destroyer flotilla where you can break off the rest of your fleet, destroy the rest, and run, then that's a win for you. Because you've sunk, what, like 10, 15 British ships with the loss of 5 of your own? That's a win for you.
Yeah, I
And the
guess it's just
Kaiser
we're never
is-
given a briefing. Really, it was just we're looking for some British ships. We found them. That's all that happened.
You
That's all we were
succeeded. You
told.
found us.
Yeah, no, the intent was sink as many enemy ships as you can and minimize your own losses. I mean, that's the point of pretty much any battle. So if you went into it that way, then yeah, further briefing would have helped, but...
Well, the idea was, I'm just going to point out, the idea was...
Okay, hang on. Let me continue speaking.
Okay.
Alright? So, yes, a further briefing would have helped y'all a lot. I admit to that. Problem being, this is a live event, and we only have so much time, alright? So I apologize for that. But, I'm trying to get everybody underway here, alright? So that's why it was lacking. I will grant you that. Okay?
Good day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sean.
Yeah?
Yeah. You had some thoughts
So,
yourself?
Yeah. So, Carter, you were asking what you could have done better, and in my mind, if you're going to do this Trafalgar break the line style thing, I would have formed in a wedge. I would have put your one of the destroyer flotillas in front, and then I would have put where is it? Blucher, since she's the least valuable ship, with the rest of the battle cruisers behind them. And then you would have had just a little bit more mass when you were going in.
That makes sense. Yeah, Hugs was kind of tactically, or I guess was the overall commander since he was the battle group or battle cruiser commander. And we never thought of a wedge, so yeah, a wedge probably would have been better.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but at the same time, I still prefer the double line that we had going here, because the idea was that we could engage like as the enemy went around the initial part, the rear of the line, which would be completely fresh, would be able to engage them as well and even break off if needed to, like change it up a little bit. But yeah. The overall idea though was that we were going in, we were doing damage. Like we were told to find the enemy and sink them. So like that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
you were supposed you were supposed to do the damage to the British.
Never got engaged really, so
I think it's a little too early to call it like one way or the other, in my opinion. But also you got to think about it this way: if you look at the composition of the fleets, I just went through and looked at them all. The British absolutely will win every time, statistically speaking, at any engagement beyond medium distance. Right? Or medium distance and beyond. They've got five battle cruisers, and they outmatch us in cruisers as well. I mean, they have numbers, period, on us, right?
Yeah.
So, considering that we have a composition of mainly torpedo boats, which are destroyers, like at least I was told they were upgun torpedo boats. Yeah, I mean, we had to close the distance or we were going to get demolished. Like, if we were to sit there and try to exchange at medium to long range distance, yeah, we'd sink a couple of ships maybe and run away, but we'd still receive the more damage, statistically speaking, just because we're outgunned and outnumbered. So the only logical decision at that point is to split the difference, go straight in the middle, and use our advantage, which is torpedoes.
Yes, torpedoes would be the great equalizer, but my point would be that this formation that you have here basically means that everything dies. Whereas
with all due respect, though, you didn't play it long enough, and not to your fault, but it was not played out long enough for us to actually get that into action. Like I'm just putting, like I said, it's too early to call it one way or the other. Like, yes, that you are correct, but my next order was to make it to where that was possible. If you look, this entire group right here, and for the most part, this entire group are completely unengaged right now. The whole fight is over here. And the idea was that we would turn around like this, cut into this, and actually be able to use our torpedoes. But because it was cut out, or that it was called before we could do that, yeah, of course we weren't able to use our torpedoes.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, it was designed like that.
Hugs, the problem is, this group over here, that's destroyers. The battle cruisers are over here.
That's what we were going for.
The
Why
battle
are you
cruisers were going
turning
to end
into
up
the
over there
destroyers?
anyway.
Why would you do that?
So we could go after their capital ships. That was the whole plan.
The course of their capital ships would mean that we'd
Oh,
cut
yeah, I
across.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were cutting into their path to use torpedoes. And the trade-off is that this group up here would not be able to get their guns to bear because all this nonsense would be in the way. And by the time we turned around, this group over here would spend their time trying to catch up to us. Now, granted, Dave did decide to take some of his guys off this way, but overall, we still have Sergei that should be following in line. Like I said, it was too early to call one way or the other.
Yeah, but Hugs, you're missing something, which is you'd have to go through the cruiser light Aurora, also known as the Rock Creek, and that probably wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, but you know, there it is, probably, but we don't know. You know, like
you mean there's a chance?
Yeah, I mean,
You're saying there's a chance.
Don't tell me the odds.
Yeah, never tell me the odds, dude. Like, you know, it's just I think given what we had in the brief that we gotten, I mean, that was the best option. It's just we didn't get to play it out long enough, and that's no fault to you guys. It's just it takes a while.
Yeah, I
know,
was.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, Carter. I'm sorry. I was looking at this kind of from an umpire perspective. The turns were 20 minutes, 20 minutes. I think the third one was 20 minutes, and after that they were all 30. I wonder if we had too few umpires and maybe too many units.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And because the turns were so long, it was impossible for us to play this out to a satisfactory conclusion for all the players. So that would be feedback for the future. That if we could run this with maybe fewer boats. And the other issue was situational awareness was completely non-existent. Like, I had a little map going and everything, and it looked nothing like this. You know? And I just wonder, I would think that even on the deck of the ship, assuming it's daytime, the captain would have a little bit better situational awareness than what I had. So I don't know if there's a different way to do reports to facilitate that.
At the end, I even asked for a screenshot of what I could see behind me. I never got one, but that was because the game ended.
Yeah,
I think a plotting board would have been helpful, at least for the squadron commanders
Well,
and the admiral.
I'll also tell you that's also a thing I saw as well. But given the fact that I didn't want to have to, we were already rushing to start this because we already had this set up, and I didn't want to have to force Peter to have to make 2 different modules because he had a lot to do today. So it comes out of that. We absolutely understand. Too few umpires, too many boats. We aren't able to give you all modules, so it doesn't help. So
this is an excellent learning opportunity because I do want us to do more Naval Kriegsspiels. So I hope you'll come back and do another one. And again, just incorporate the experiences here.
Yeah, overall though, if we look past all that, it was a really fun experience. Like, I love this scenario.
So much fun.
But it was fun. Maybe not for like Sergei and Dave, but I mean, I'm sorry, but like if we just managed to get the turns to go a little bit faster, I think that things may have turned out a little bit differently. Who knows? But it was fun. It was fun. Definitely will be back if possible.
Yeah, I was saying to CT that for the amount of umpires we had, this is definitely too many ships. Probably an appropriate scenario size would be something like Savo Island, which is no capital ships, of fewer cruisers and fewer destroyers.
So a big part of why we ran this today is exactly that, to get that sort of feedback as to how this sort of thing plays out, because we have confidence in the system. We didn't have confidence in how it would look when it was run like this.
Well, good.
Or if you wanted to stick with World War I, something like the Falklands battle.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
so
that was a good one.
We can only do a live game because that's all we could really manage, and doing a larger play-by-post thing would take a whole lot of time and not really test things the way we wanted to, so we needed to see it like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, this was
Yeah.
a perfect test bed. No, this was great.
so
Good.
yeah, we see
Yeah, we definitely were trying to push the just to kind of see what the breaking
yeah,
point was.
push it.
But,
So
but
yep,
thankfully it was fun.
next time hopefully we have more umpires that are willing to help. Again, thank you.
All right. Thank you to everyone who watched, as well as thank you to the umpires and people who played. I'm going to wrap up the live stream. This was an interesting scenario, certainly a learning scenario. It would have been really interesting if the situational awareness had been greater. I wonder what decisions I would have made differently had I seen more of what was going on. It's just one of those things, you have to learn, and this is one of the very few naval Kriegsspiels we've done. And I really think, and in fact, I think this is the only one we've recorded. And I do think that this is going to get a lot better in the future because we've had this experience. So it'll pay off. Well, anyway, I want to thank you all for being here, and I will see you all on our